What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill. Jay Miller, if you like. So let's get into it. So today we're gonna take a look at a 7 round mock draft, as promised from before. But before I get into that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Um, as far as Cowboys news, I know that Stephen Jones spoke today um, at the um, at the owners' meetings. Looks like they're going to push to get that tush push ban for the Philadelphia Eagles. And other than that, just your standard like canned answers about Michael Parsons' contract and Deron Bland's contract. So just nothing crazy to write home about. It is that time of year. It's pretty much free agency's over. It's full speed ahead with drafts. So, there's been some pro days going on. And then other than that, there's these meetings here where rule changes can happen and new things can be implemented. But for the most part, everybody's just kind of trying to figure out who they're taking, what they're taking, getting as much intel. I know that Dallas is going to have some players in for the 30 visit coming up soon. And then they're going to have Dallas Day, which allows them to have quite a few players just because so many players come from Texas. So, it'll be pretty much wall to wall draft from now until the end of April. And then once OTAs start, we'll get a little bit more in terms of how people are looking. And even that'll be pretty much taken with a grain of salt because there's not much going on during that time as well. But so let's get into it. Last time we did this, it was a 3 round mock. Didn't do any trading. This time we're going to do the full 7 rounds. We'll allow some trading. I'd be just so you know this how this is going to work. This scenario is going to be I'm pretty much only going to be accepting trade backs. I wouldn't trade up in this scenario because if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying to gather as many picks as I can. If some of these trades look crazy, I'm not going to take them because it'll be unrealistic. I'm going to look at trades when they come in that the Cowboys would realistically get offered and that they might realistically take for their pick and for their spot at the moment. So let's get into it. So first round, here we go. I got it set to fast, so it should be going pretty quickly here. So we got some people that we knew were going to go off the board, right? We got Cam Ward off the board. Shamar Stewart is off the board. The Michigan Graham, he's off the board. Looks like Tetarola is off the board. So our typicals. But now, here is what we're offered. We're offered, Steelers next year, first rounder, third rounder, seventh rounder, and their fourth rounder this year. Now, I think that means they're trying to come up to get Ashton Genty. So I would like to see a little more than that. So I don't think I'm interested in that trade. Tampa also is doing a fourth rounder this year and a 1, a 3, a 7. So pretty much the same package. I think Tampa will be coming up for like Will Johnson or someone like that. So, eh, Washington, give me their first and their third next year. I think they also will be coming up for Genty. And then you got the Giants, who are offering 4 different picks, but I don't think they would be coming up for Genty, but they might be coming up for Genty as well. So in this scenario, I'm actually going to reject every single trade, and I'm going to do what all Cowboys fans would want me to do, which is take Ashton Genty with this pick. So there's and just so you know, I've been doing these mocks on my own time for a little while, and Genty has never fallen to me in any of these mocks. And the first one I do for you guys, of course, Ashton Genty falls. All right, so now second round. Looks like the Lions are offering us a lot of picks, but they're mostly for next year. I'm not interested in that. Um, Atlanta. So we would drop back 2 slots and pick up a seventh rounder. Doesn't seem like enough. Cleveland gives us 2 third rounders this year and a fifth rounder next year. Now, to think about that a little bit, that means I'm picking up 2 extra picks in the top 100. But do I really? I mean, we got our running back, but do I really want to trade out of someone like I want to say Harmon is going to be there. I can't see they're blocking me a little bit with the trade offers. But Siobhan Revel, cornerback here, that could really help the Cowboys considering Trayvon Diggs' injury right now. And there's probably some other players that I could look at once I have put the screen down and give us some other positions. So I'm not sure about that one. Definitely not. Again, next year picks, things I'm not interested in. And then the Detroit Lions offer us a bunch of next year picks. So I think I'm going to reject all these two. I'm just going to stand in here and pick. So I don't really need. I mean, Zabel's a nice pick here. I guess you would say so, because of Zach Martin retiring. He is an interior offensive lineman. I mean, BB would play center still in that scenario to me. Jalen Milroe, if you like his upside. You have Tyleik Williams as well, is a good defensive lineman. You got an edge here, which we could always use some help. But I think if I'm the Cowboys, I'm taking Rebel with this pick. It's a cornerback that's going to immediately come in, contribute, and it gives you some insurance in case Trayvon is not ready day one. That would give you a pretty good. I feel like you picked up two starters here. So now the Jets, no, I'm not interested in any of those picks. A fifth rounder, hell no. All right, let's look. Atlanta, okay, round 3, round 5, but that's next year. Okay, pick a fifth. If I was able to get my fourth rounder back, I might, care about that. No, I'm going to reject all these. We're just going to stand in and pick once again. And I think the Cowboys would be crazy not to take Umama Yellen right here. It's just a blinking light staring you right in the face. I know Schlesinger, but with what the Cowboys have done at linebacker, I think adding another good edge to the room will be awesome. So I'm definitely going to take that. So right now I feel good about our first 3 rounds. I think the Cowboys have strengthened their defense. I think they shored up a big weakness on offense. Now is the tough part, right? Because we're going to get the run on all the players not having a 4th round pick. And this is very likely to happen draft day. The Cowboys don't have their 4th round pick and they just have to wait until the 5th round. So now if you're looking here, you have another defensive lineman, Jordan Phillips, can come in and play for you. You also have Jamari Caldwell, another good one who could come in and play for you pretty much day one. Now, you don't really have, as you see, any of the decent rated wide receivers on the board. Looks like there was a run on that. So if I'm the Cowboys, once again, I'm just going to kind of do what I've been doing and sticking with the best player available. Jordan Phillips is going to be able to come in and help you on the interior, some Mozzie Smith insurance, and give you some pass rush a little bit as well. So now I'm not taking any trade offers from here on out because at this point you're in the 5th round. You're just throwing darts at the board to see what might stick. So in the 5th round here, this might be where I take a chance on someone like Dylan Gabriel. All right, since we want to have a backup quarterback for Dak Prescott coming up here this upcoming season, might be a nice little backup here that we can get. So now I am really kicking myself that I didn't scroll down farther and see that Peebles was there. But again, we've kind of shored up some needs here. I don't know if I want to double dip at defensive tackle, but I think I want to double dip at defensive tackle. RJ Harvey, I can't remember if he brought some juice to the game, but I'm looking for a little bit more juice in my running back room. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Peebles here, and I'm really going to, Matt Eberflus. I guess we can call this the Matt Eberflus draft because I'm pretty much giving Matt Eberflus pretty much anything he wants at this point. Like I said, not taking any trades at this point on. So at this point, I'm looking, like I said, for traits, take chances, take flyers on guys. This is actually where I might take one of these interior offensive linemen, Connor Colby from Iowa. That looks like the guy that I would go with. So let's go there. Give you a guy to compete on the inside with some of the other guys that you added here. All right, so now we're back up again. Cowboys have a bunch of 5th round picks here. So I do like Higgins from Iowa. He's not really a coverage guy. He's going to be more of a run defender. But I think the Cowboys might take a look at that. I'm not familiar with Caden Prather, so I'm not even going to act like I am. But let's go with Actually, let's go with the Alabama safety. Why not? Let's take a flyer on that. I haven't watched him yet either, so I don't know who he is. All right, so the Cowboys are going down. Now we're getting into the sixth and seventh rounds. And as you figure, this is just throwing stuff at a dart, at a board to see what sticks. Yeah, sure, let's go with the. I have no idea who this person is. Not going to lie to you. All right, and let's go. I don't know, man. Riley Leonard. I do know who that is, but we already took a quarterback. You know what? Let's take another corner. Why not? All right, so the Dallas Cowboys draft is over. Looks like they graded us pretty well. I think our first few picks, actually, I like our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our first 6 picks, I feel like we really hit it. Even Colby from Iowa State is an interior offensive lineman, but what the Cowboys did not get in this scenario, they didn't get a wide receiver, and they didn't get really juice back to go with Genty. Now you could say, hey, Genty, provides some juice, so he's bringing his own juice here, and that's going to be the person that does that for the Cowboys. But I guess we'll see. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter at jmill at jmillerIYL. That's jmill if you like. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can leave comments below if there's anything specific that you want me to cover, anything that you want me to, any questions that you have for me. We'll do this again, but this time we'll look more at trading up and being more aggressive and see what results those net us. But like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Until next time, I'm your host, J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace. What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, J Mill if you like. So let's get into it. So today we're going to take a look at